live.
Thank you. Call meeting to order. Everybody's got the agenda in front of them. Motion to approve. Second. A motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Hearing no opposed, it's unanimous. Okay, minutes from the last meeting are still being drafted, so we don't have those to approve. Oh, Garrett, I thought I redid this, and I didn't. How about if I get some new?
No, you want to do that first? Okay.
I didn't get it on the agenda, so we approved it like this.
Okay. At the end of March, we had $413,743 in our bank account. We show collections for the month of March of about $375,000. And of that 413,000, 228 of that is reserve accounts. Now the reserve accounts, we have 125,000 in the capital account. We have a road improvement account of 41,000. In addition to that, we have $62,000 of other people's money. These are dues and assessments that people are paying on a monthly basis. We hold the money until the dues and assessments are sent out, and then we transfer that to the executive account. In addition to that, there is a number of dollars in there of permits. Permits are not our money. They belong to property owners who are building a house, making improvements. For the month of March, we spent $33,562. To give you some idea of how that money was spent, 5,000, a little over, was paid for the workman's comp, which is the first payment that we're going to be making this year. There'll be 3 or 4 other payments later in the year. The workman comp account is, we had in the budget of $19,000. It's going to go to $24,000. We paid stickers at $4,143. We spent $3,400 on roads. Amberview was $1,600, and that $1,600 covers not only February but March. 2 payments got made in the month of March. That's all I have, Dave, unless there are questions.
I have a question. What happens in December, January, and February? I haven't seen anything from anything. I requested in writing the February report, and I've yet to receive it. So, I mean, the December report, the final report, I requested it in writing. I have not seen it, and I don't understand how you can give a March report without a February and January report, and of course, the financial report for December, the end of the year report. Why aren't they there?
Do you want to give them January, February? Any reason why?
Oh, we're still not done with them yet. The cash is balanced,
We've
and
done
that's
that
why you
each
need to
month.
give them cash.
You aren't done with December, but you've got the March report?
Well, we've got the balance to the bank account for January and February.
And
That we
March.
had.
That may
And
be.
March. The bank account's balanced.
You don't know what the end of the year report is?
What are you asking for? I don't understand what
I'm
you want.
asking for the end of the year report, which I've requested
All right,
twice,
what do you want
once
to
in
know about the end
writing,
of the report?
and I was told it wasn't finished.
Well,
It's
the
not.
end of the report, at the end of December, we do it the same thing that we've done in several years in the past. We have $200,000 in operating funds to get you through January, February, and March. We have a capital reserve account that we've had for a number of years. We first started it in 2010.
I know that, Gary, that's not the issue. The issue
You
is
said,
where's the
you want to know
report?
what we had when we started.
Where's
At that
the
point in
report?
time, at December the 31st, we had $428,103.
Why isn't it available for me to get a copy?
The
I've never
financials are
given you
not
copies,
complete yet,
except
Kelly.
when you were on the board.
Dave, when I asked you in February, when I had heard that they didn't balance, you stood right up there and told me in the audience that the books were closed and balanced for the end of year 18. And now you're saying they're not that.
Well, they
They're
are balanced.
closed and balanced, but
I can-
all the,
I can tell you what the balance is as of 12/31.
That's not the issue. I asked for a copy of it.
$428,103.
there's a lot more to the statements than closing and balancing.
Really?
Sure.
Show me.
Now, I can tell you how much money we spent in February, and we did not spend a lot there either. Routinely, we spent about $100,000 a month. That's what's in the budget. We spent $33,000 in March.
Gary,
February is only 42.
Gary, I have a letter here. It says March 25th, 2019, addressed to me. Dear Mrs. Scott, I am sorry to fail, but the reports have not yet been approved by the board. I have your request and will provide when approval is forthcoming. Thanks, Dave Ruble, President, Terre Association. That was March 25th. Where's the report? If you're giving a March report, then December should be finished.
I can tell you their balance.
That's not what I'm asking
I
for.
don't know what you wanna
I'm
know.
asking for a copy of the report as a homeowner.
You
I
want me
should
to
have one.
give you a copy of the report. That's it.
What you said.
I asked
Okay,
Mr.
fine.
Ruble for
You come
one.
up here and I'll give you a copy of it.
I asked Mr. Ruble for it.
That's funny.
I'll take a copy of it.
Yeah. Give me one too.
That is,
Now, I don't have a copy
The
of
COPS
it here.
report.
If
I
I
want
give
the
you
COPS
one report, I can't give somebody else one.
That's fine, I'll share.
I know you don't care, but what about somebody
I'm
else?
fine, we'll give it to.
I said I'll share. Just got the breakdown of where all the money went.
And is it the COPS report,
What's
Gary?
on hand is 1231.
They're talking about
You're talking about two different things.
The financial statements are not ready yet. Sorry. I'm working as hard as I can to get them
Then why
done.
say it is?
You don't need to be working.
And is it the COPS report?
What?
The TOPS report, the program that we paid money for, and we had one of our employees, former employee, who went to training to do that report. So it all balanced out evenly and everything was there. It broke it down beautifully. That's the TOPS report. As the president, I would assume you would know that because that's the report, financial
Okay, now
statements.
you want to know
are-
something about the TOPS report? The TOPS report is based on accrual basis. It does not show you cash.
It's what we're audited on.
Look at this.
It's what we're audited on.
Gary?
It's the audited report.
The auditor report,
It's
it
the
will be there,
standard report.
but we haven't had the auditor yet.
Oh, really? I don't
And you
know.
gotta go, you gotta go through all the balance sheet accounts
Would have
and
all been done.
reconcile.
And this is
Reconcile.
on the computer.
It was
and
done
it's on
before
the
now
computer.
last year.
This is not last year.
I know.
We don't know what last.
Helen, when I get them done, no, you'll get them.
It's March, this is.
I
April.
realize it's April the 10th.
Why don't we have it? You said we didn't need a business manager.
There's a myriad of reasons.
Yeah, I'm sure there are. You don't know how to do it.
Helen, I know how to do it.
You do know how to do the TOPS report. You told me you didn't even know what the TOPS report was.
No, I did not tell you that. I did not tell you that.
Okay.
Okay. We need to put that.
Yes.
We're gonna move on to committee reports, and before we do, I wanna say that we have 4 committees this year. Public Works is chaired by Bob Brown, and the vice chair is Mr. Ed Weibel. Public Safety, the chair is open still. Events now has an open chair. Tracy Webenmeyer resigned 2 weeks ago, almost. So if anybody has interest in being events chairman, please get a hold of me. I'd like to visit. And now I'm gonna turn it over to give the Public Works report, since Mr. Brown's not here, to Cody Gillette, the Director of Public Works.
Good evening. I'll try to be brief. Since the weather broke, we've been pretty busy. We did have one small shot of snow early in March. Since then, we've been working on prepping roads for future paving. Replaced the cross culvert. We got one monster cross culvert we still got to get done before we can pave. We're hoping to pave North Capri this year. Let's see. Started working on our artificial fish habitats. We've got 6 of the 10 made. Those are going to go in Lake Shane. We've put some in Lake Lafitte last year, and the previous year we put them in Lake Marseille. Goal is keep rotating until we get a bunch in there. So we did get our algicide shipment in, so we'll be able to treat a little bit sooner this year instead of letting it grow up in the lakes, then coming in behind it. We're going to try to get ahead of it. See, we've been potholing. There was a little period there where we couldn't get asphalt, but I assure you the day we could get asphalt, we were out there. So they actually did it again today. Put 5 new picnic tables in Pavilion Park over there. We're hoping to put another 5 by the end of the year. Let's see. Yeah, we spent close to $13,000 this month on gravel for gravel road maintenance and cuts, asphalt cuts that we're digging out. Held a safety meeting. As Mr. Ruble said, the Public Works Committee itself, we've decided to do something a little different and break that down into subcommittees. what we were finding in our committee meetings, we try to keep them around an hour long, doesn't give everything its due justice. Either we talk about lakes and dams or buildings, or, you know, it just wasn't given enough time. So we decided to break that up into subcommittees. That way we can have meetings specifically and people involved in those specific responsibilities. So we're gonna have a roads committee, lakes and dams committee, a building and grounds committee, and an architectural permits committee. So that touches on most of everything the Public Works has their hand in. I foresee good things coming from that. More focus, more time spent on things. People have questions, concerns, we can take them in and have a good conversation with a group of qualified people. We got a great group of people that's involved. I'm just looking forward to it, so that's about it. Thank you.
Thanks, Cody. Okay, moving on to the public safety report. In the month of March, the police had 295 total calls. They made 10 arrests, 9 of those on active warrants. Traffic stops were 116 for the month, most of which were trespass investigations. There were 37 traffic violations. That's it for the police report. Fire report, there were 22 calls, it looks like, 11 for 21 calls, 11 for EMS, 5 for fires, 5 for training purposes. That's the fire report. And that's all that's on the agenda. Do I hear a motion for adjournment?
Hold a minute, what are the rest of your committees?
Ma'am?
You didn't mention all the committees, I don't think.
There's only 4 this year.
4 committees, and we have a non-board member sitting on one of the committees, but we have board members up there that aren't sitting on any committee? You
Yeah.
said Mr. Weibel was on the, Public Works Committee. Why don't you have either Mike Tilley or Mr. Adam or Mike Miller sitting on any of those committees? Why are we going outside the community, or outside the board to get,
To get community involvement.
but that community member also happens to be one of your allies, we all know that. Why don't you put one of those guys on the committee? So they know what's going on.
Board members can attend all committee meetings. Always have been.
That doesn't answer my question. My question is, why is someone who does not sit on the board a member of that committee, the Public Works Committee? Why isn't Mike Tilley or Adam Hector or Mike Miller sitting on that committee? Why aren't they on that committee?
That's between me and them.
Yeah, I know that. Okay, fine, you answered the question.
That's what I told her. I know it. She didn't want to hear that.
Well, we all know the answer.
Any committee. I don't understand why you're asking, Helen. You've been on the
Because
board
we have
before.
board members sitting on here that aren't on any committees, and yet we have someone outside
A
the
board
board
member
sitting
doesn't
on a
have to be.
committee.
Just when you were on the board, you could attend any committee meeting.
No, I
that you
couldn't,
wanted to.
Gary, because you would have you'd have those board member meetings when I was working. Thank you.
Well.
We never
I
missed
can't
it
help
for
that.
your bridge game, but we could ignore
No,
me,
we did
okay?
it in the
So I
mornings.
know that.
That was a problem for you.
Yeah.
We also had meetings in the evening for you, to accommodate you.
3 o'clock in the afternoon, Gary.
Okay?
Some
3 o'clock in the
people work.
afternoon.
Some people are employees.
So, I don't understand the question.
I'm sure you know.
Motion to adjourn.
I would like to go back. I some questions that I had. This pertains to the finance reports and so forth that were happening. And I guess under my one, I had the heading of why is the board not presented with financials for approval since November of 2018. I think
Excuse me, Mike, this isn't on the agenda.
you've answered that. You asked if there were questions about the finance reports things, and I'm asking my questions, sir.
That was
Well,
4 reports
I
ago.
gave this to you when we had the executive meeting. Why didn't you bring it up then?
I have a balance sheet that is dated for 12/31 of 18, and that was printed on 2/12 of 19, and it shows an out of balance of $3,092.30.
Because that's in what is called a suspense account that was created. It's a bad way of accounting, and it was there before I got there, and it's still there.
Okay. These are TOPS reports, so if it's a bad way of counting, it's
in
on the
account-
TOPS.
It's an account 999, Mike, which shows up on no reports,
Okay.
other than the trial balance.
And then that same, I have a balance sheet also for 12/31/18, same time frame. It was printed a month later on 4/1 of 19, and it shows an out of balance of $13,929.38.
Same account.
So it's jumped from 3,000 to 13,000,
Yes, that is where payroll taxes get accrued into.
and we have done nothing to correct those
Well, that's
adjustments.
why I'm working on the financial statements, and that's also why I don't like financial statements released before they're approved, before they're ready.
Okay. And we
I
haven't
told you that
approved,
once before.
and we haven't approved any. Under my third, I have another, I'm not gonna go, continue to beat a dead horse, I guess, in a certain sense. But I also have a balance sheet that shows some out of balances on, and these are again reports off of our top system that we paid money for, we should be using.
We
in
are
the accounts. I have not seen any, the only thing that I've seen monthly is a cash flow report, as far as a board member for. I asked Tammy to print here as of the latest, so I could bring this information out and have latest information at that. She told me that she was instructed not to provide any reports to any board member without the approval of the president.
That's
So
because
now,
I don't want any erroneous information out.
Wow.
Do you know what the March report?
That's probably not on that report because it wasn't done until recently.
Your TOPS report right now, I've got a copy as of March 31st. Do you know what the actual
the balance
report
sheet.
shows? Current assets, current income, $1,043,000. It's assessments and dues of 138, and what it is the projected revenue that you're going to collect for the year. And we also know that you're not gonna collect that anywhere from 7% to 10%.
I'm well
People that
aware,
don't
I'm
vote.
well aware of all
I
that.
know you are. This is why the report is
I'm
not
talking about
about.
the balance sheet.
Well,
Balance sheet should balance.
I can tell you,
Balanced every month last year.
It will, when this
It still
suspense
is.
account is closed out.
I verified the numbers as of the.
It's all the exact amount of suspense account. Mark.
I know what it's all.
Suspense account.
I know what it's all.
Why do you know what it's all?
Because he said 3,000 and something dollars, I know what that amount is.
Oh, okay. It's payroll taxes is what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
There's standard job entries that should be done every month, and they're not being done.
They're getting done.
Either by volunteers.
Yeah, volunteers put out fires. What's all volunteers doing financial? We need to put that fire. Whatever you choose to think, you know. I chose it. Good deal.
On my inspection of the weekly checks, the accounts payable, there was a check made out for computer services to an individual, not necessarily going to name the name to disparage anyone or try to in any way, shape, or form. This authorization came from Mr. Ruble. He stated that it is an unbudgeted item, and he as president has authorized to authorize that expenditure of because of less than $1,000 by the president. Within the TDO regulations, Title II, Administration, Chapter 7, Purchase Powers of the President, it reads, the president or the vice president, in the absence of the president, may authorize expenditures up to $1,000 for any one emergency expense without board approval. This is my talking here. These are my opinions, and I see this as an overreach of power by Mr. Ruble and does not qualify in his emergency for that $300 check that was
Would
reported.
you like me to go back and if you want me to, I'll go back and audit the time you were president, and those items that you
No,
approved.
we're talking about right now. We're talking
I don't want to
about-
do that.
Today.
He did the
What's
same
going on
thing
today?
as president.
What's computer services?
Computers.
What's computer services?
Working on computers.
What kind of services?
I'm not gonna go into.
You pay $300 for computer services. What services
Yes,
were done
I
to the
did.
computer?
You know, I'll
And
tell
that's
you.
somebody working on them physically, not
We have a treasurer, what did he do?
not fixing them. That's somebody that's punching.
It needed to be done, it was done.
Yeah, but Gary has.
By volunteers, then they'll get paid by volunteers.
Volunteers, put
Well,
on
yeah,
the
yes, they don't get paid.
Are there volunteer bondage?
No.
No? You mean you're letting volunteers handle the money without being fined?
They're not touching money.
The volunteers are.
Touching
No,
$300.
Okay.
Move to adjourn.
A volunteer can do the budget, but I can't see the.
Got a motion and a second to adjourn.
Okay.
Now we got.
Need a volunteer.
I keep it volunteer.
This is all.
We just had an election,
Yeah, but nobody knew what they were getting into.
just like nobody knew when they were signing with your petition.
Oh, they yes.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. We're adjourned. Now, we have two people signed up for public comments. Mr. Rennell.
I just had a question, is my understanding you met with Sheriff Bullock to look at the possibility of increasing the police department from 7 officers to 5?
What?
Is that correct?
No. We met with Sheriff Bullock, that's correct.
That's all I wanted to know, thank you.
Joe King.
Only thing I got is, are they planning on putting the Fisher tractors in the small lakes?
The what?
Small lakes, the Fisher tractors.
I think they're right now, they're aiming for the big lakes. Is Cody still here?
Yeah, we're targeting the big lakes right now. Like I said, we're trying to do 10 a year. Rotate those out. Yeah, everything we're doing to the big lakes, we're gonna do the small lakes too. We stock them on the same basis and everything, so yes.
I don't want them to get the ones. Normally, all can make that, put in the large lakes 1 year, and small lakes the second year.
I think he's talking about the fish condos, right?
The Fisher tractors.
I want to have my
The
petition.
Fisher
in.
tractors.
We're putting in fish condos, so I got a place to put it.
Putting in Fisher
Condos.
Yeah, I've never heard of this.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Montgomery.
It's a tractor. It tracks
It's an
fish,
estimate
fish,
place.
it tracks bigger fish. So you know where to fish first.
Gives them a place to put the trash. It works.
Mr. Ruble, I'd like the petition back.
Ma'am?
I want the petition back.
The place to go would be the neighborhood or the court.
Well, or president, can you, well, then Mike Tilley can take it to the.
Only the president talks to the attorney.
Really? Wow.
That's not just us, that's part of the attorney.
Really? I can't go see we don't have, I thought we had access to the ballots. Did
I thought
anybody?
the attorney represented the board, not the president of the board.
He represents the board, but he deals with the president, who's the elected head of the board.
That's conflict.
That's a conflict of interest because you're one of the people that we wanted removed from the board. That's a conflict.
She just said it. Did you hear it?
You were real.
Well, you don't listen.
What is it? Do you understand what conflict means? It's a conflict of interest. You were one of the candidates or people that we wanted removed from the board. You're the president. You picked the 6 people to do the counting. One of them was somebody who supported your removal from the board, and the other 5 were people that supported you. You chose those people. It wasn't done by an independent individual. You made that decision about you and the other 2 members
That's
of
every
the...
election, the president picks the county.
Not in this case.
Trump used the Russians.
I do not.
That's right, he did. Why didn't you go to Tilley?
And then when we asked for a recount, you said yes, and then changed your mind, or Mr. Combs did, and it won't allow for a recount. If there is nothing to hide, a recount is not going to be difficult. But by the fact that you, as one of the people that was being recalled, has made the decision on every aspect of this, and that leads to a conflict of interest, because it is in your best interest, you, not ours, for you to stay on the board. So by you making those decisions, it's a conflict of interest. It's real simple. I'm not buying that story. And I don't think most of the people in here are. You are not uniting this community, you are dividing it.
You all are divided.
No, you're the leader, you divide it. It's your call.
An HOA, any person can ask for a recall, one person. This is an HOA. And I'm saying that very calmly, that is a statement. Mr. Ruble, you know, if you read the state guidelines for HOAs, which are governed by HUD, you know, I mean, truthfully.
Our attorney has examined the issue and told us we're fine.
I want to see that statement.
Our attorney or your attorney?
No, I didn't hire him, he was attorney when I came on.
That you came here to the
You knew what you wanted anyway. Well, he recommended no recount.
Didn't say that.
No, he didn't.
So he did recommend a recount.
But
He
he,
said
no,
you can get a court order,
said he,
and you get a recount.
So you're saying,
So you have to get a court order.
you're saying that Mr. Mayhew,
he did not recommend a recount.
no, you're saying he said if we want a recount, we have to get a court order.
Yes.
Okay. You got that on video, right? Okay.
One lady went to him and got a court order and he didn't even count her up. That was Mr. Mayhew's.
That is approval, and you did it the right way.
I can't hear.
What's your interest in being our president when we have a meeting and all you want to do is adjourn and get out the door? I've been to the last couple of meetings. And as soon as you get a meeting started, you want to adjourn and get out the door. What is your interest as being the president of this
I
organization?
want to move the organization forward and the community forward.
Oh, no. Who's interested?
As long as our financials not done. We're back in December still, we're not moving forward. You say we spend $100,000 a month, but where's the breakdown? Where's the money going? It may be going to proper places, but we don't know.
Okay.
It's
Y'all are
our
beating
money.
a dead horse.
Well, someone's gotta care about it, Mr. Ruble. Obviously,
I
you don't.
care.
40 hours a week you volunteer.
$37,000, and you're questioning.
We just wanna break down on paper, like we get every year.
No, you never have received.
If we request financials, we get a breakdown. It gets posted onto the community website.
Which we haven't had
Never
access.
happens.
It should be.
Now, if you want it posted on them, that can be
We
done.
just want something, other than we spent this amount of money.
We've never given it to you before.
Okay.
All of a sudden.
We never had reason to doubt you before.
And I've been treasurer for many years.
Okay, you're the treasurer, where's the financials?
We balance these every month. Year end, January, February.
Gary, you admit yourself that you don't know how to turn on a computer. The program is on a computer. How do you know that everything is correct? If you don't even know how to put the financial report in a computer, how would you know?
Because I balance the numbers with the end of each month. I balance the checking account and the
Against what? The receipts?
general ledger. There's a number of checks that are not clear. So you have to balance with the accounts of those checks. Every month you have many checks that are not clear. Some are very small, $2 and $3.
Okay.
Some are larger.
Okay, let me ask you this, when will they be available? You keep saying they're not available.
Well,
And I understand, you didn't give them out before, we want it. When will it be available?
I cannot answer that, but it will be.
At the end of 2019?
But I've never given one to.
You might never have, but we are allowed to request it.
My letter from Mr. Ruble said that he would give me a copy of it after it had been approved by the board. My understanding is that you had an executive meeting last week.
Only to approve the bills spent for the month of March.
So you didn't approve the budget? Or you didn't
Oh,
approve the
yeah, the
financial
budget was
report for
approved
the end
last
of the
January.
year?
Budget's approved.
No, I meant for the end of the year that I've asked for it. You didn't bother to do it the last meeting?
I didn't have it at the last meeting. I
No.
had it
You
too.
didn't have it, but I was told it was finished. Somebody is lying.
I
to
didn't
me.
say it was finished, I said you have it when
Mr.
it was
Ruble,
approved
I
by the
asked
board.
the copy of your letter on my phone. You said it was finished and you would present it to the board. The reason you didn't have it was because you hadn't presented it
I
yet.
said I'd give it to you when it was approved by the board.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. They don't have it to approve yet.
You are.
But,
You're the president.
Mr. Ruble,
Yep.
why? I mean, why tell us? And it wasn't just you, you had a bookkeeper in there, Constance, whatever. She even told us, don't worry, everything is done. Why tell us that? I mean,
It's not all done.
you're telling us now, but the last, I missed March, but January and February, you distinctly said everything was done. And
If I did, I was wrong. I've been learning as I go. What?
Your letter said it's all done.
No, I don't believe it did.
And then my other just question real quick, when Mr. Reiser asked after, there was all of us waiting, after the recount, and he very courteously asked Mr. Combs, and Mr. Combs says, I don't see a problem, but then when he walked outside, one of the counters was Mr. Weigel, and you talked a little bit, sir, and then you come back in, you went back into the office, and nothing was said, but people waited up there till 11:30 the next day to see if they could count, and then you told them, no, we've been advised, we're not gonna let you. Couldn't you have done that at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock? Instead of, or did you have to wait until you had the word then from Mr. Weigel or the attorney? And I mean, I'd like to know, what does Mr. Weigel, and I'm sorry he's not here, if he was, I'd ask him to his face. I mean, because I'm not being rude, I just want to know the answers.
When were the ballots sent to the attorney's office?
Well, wait a minute, I'd like her just to answer, Mr. Combs, as far as that decision back and forth, you know, you said first we could do a recount and then.
I don't remember Mr. Wild being there that morning.
He wasn't there that morning, but after the, counting. After you was counted on Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, whatever you counted, you walked out and you had a conversation. Now, I'm not saying you even talked about the ballots, but it just looked suspicious to me that you went in and said something, I think, to Chief Cook. But then we're all under the assumption we're gonna get to recount the next day. Make the people, I wasn't there, I had a previous appointment, but.
Nobody gave it time. We started the count at 9. A collection of citizens being there at 8 o'clock that next day.
Right.
With no clear answer if we could do it or not. He asked me if we could do it, I said, I don't know that it'd be a problem. Then I wanted to get a little further clarification on it.
What's the problem? Why can't we count that?
They were advised.
Who advised?
Who advised you?
Who advised that you not be counted?
I don't know,
Be
I'm
honest.
gonna answer this. The ballots are at the attorney's office. Contact him and see what
Who
they say.
advised that they not be counted?
We can't.
To answer Robert's question,
Yes.
sure, you can come.
Yeah.
Robert, they were taken to Mr. Mayhew on, we counted Monday, right? So Wednesday.
Is there any reason why, because you said in February it was gonna be held like any other election, and we have never sent the ballots out of the office after an election, so why the need for them to go and make these office?
Who said that?
We've never sent ballots.
I didn't say it was gonna be handled like any other
No,
election.
Mr. Ruble did when I asked him about the election or the ballot process, prior to it taking place. He said, and I think maybe you asked him, and the statement was, it was going to be handled like any other election. But in no other election have we sent the ballots, they've always went in the safe, and they were available if anyone from the public wanted to come look at.
This is, Robert, this is the only election we've ever had that I know of that was court ordered.
It's not court ordered.
It was
You
ordered.
just went to court to get it stopped from being a meeting, and they told you how to ballot it out. They didn't tell you it was court ordered for this to be done. We
We went to court and asked the court to order an election, and they did.
We the people asked for this election. We asked for a meeting election. You went to get a ballot election. That's different.
Why is it different?
Because we asked for that to be voted on, not you, not the court. The court told you to ballot it. You were okay with that.
If you read the court order, our arguments are in there on why we asked the court. The court agreed with us.
We the people brought that petition for this vote, not the court.
And not here.
We the people that did this. You need to pay back. So it's not a court ordered vote.
And you used our money to get it changed. So I asked, I asked who advised that, there not be a recount? Would you please answer that?
No.
Why not?
The advisors are people, they're my advisors. People like us.
There's a gentleman in the back that's been waiting.
How you doing, guys? Nobody here knows me. I'm pretty new, a couple of years in. I'm Vince Bonzacino. I got one question for Mr. Cohen. What's your future for Terre? I've heard nobody ask. I've heard complaining over the monies. I've heard complaining over the election. I just want to know what your future is. You're the new board, you're the developer of this community, and I'd like to hear what your future for Terre is.
You're asking me personally as a developer.
Yes, sir. What do you see for hope in Terre as a community after you're done?
See hope, and what I thought would come here was a chance to bring everybody together to move forward, to build.
We were already together.
Who was that?
I understand nobody likes change. Excuse me. We're not all here.
I don't think we're all together, but. So anyway, that was to build, develop, improve the community. That's the vision. I don't have any, there's no other reason to do it. I mean.
What are you gonna develop?
What?
What are you going to develop? A developer comes in and puts in infrastructure. I looked it up when I was on the board. Okay, and as far as I know, everything's been developed. So I don't understand why we still have a developer. What are you going to develop? We've had a developer for 50 years. Most developers get out after 5 or 10.
Okay, well, this is my 1.5 years, so give me a little time. Okay?
What improvements are you planning? Do you have
Yes.
any in mind?
I'm not gonna answer you, Tracy, you know what the improvements are.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I would like to know, that's part of the developer question I was kind of interested in.
Yeah,
It's,
well-
to be honest with you, it's gonna withstand my goals, not a lot about them, but I know they don't hold a good value. So I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah, no, in my office, not in this board situation when we're talking about this.
Anytime you're in there, what days are you in there?
7 days a week.
We all want to know.
Come talk to me anytime. I'm sitting here in the secretary of the hospital.
Transparency really makes for a better community, and we're not getting
It's a two-way street, Alan.
a two-way street.
Transparency is a two-way street.
Okay, what do I'm paying my dues, and then you're not telling me where it's going, and you can't even,
I don't control your dues as a developer. The board controls your dues.
and you sit on the board, you tell them what they can and cannot do.
No, I'm on the vote on the board.
Not,
You shouldn't have any.
you shouldn't have any vote.
Well, that's your opinion. I have a different one. Transparency goes both ways. You can sit here and ambush people and try to get them and they got you. I'll talk to you anytime that you want to talk about it.
I'm talking to the president who isn't giving me any
I
answers.
thought you were talking to me.
Huh?
I thought you were talking to me.
I am talking to you, and then you two talk together, and you're very tight, and we all know it.
Oh, you're all very, we know who's type and who, so that's
Yep,
not,
and it's a divided community.
Well-
Thank you very much.
I don't think me.
Yeah, you're part of it. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the
Pardon me?
problem.
It's a two-way street.
I'm new at all this. I don't come to these meetings much. I've been back here for 11 years. And I pretty much have stayed out of politics. And we've been happy here until recently. And then I started coming to these meetings and I'm seeing the division and I'm seeing the reports not being done and things not being done as they have run smoothly in the past. So I think, you know, we need to find out what the common problem is, and I think because somebody's job was cut, we're running all these snowball problems. And, I mean, I know there may have been a reason, not reason, I don't know. But I know the job was cut, and the problems are snowballing people. We're not getting any better. And every time I come here, it's worse. This is our community.
All right.
And it's getting worse and worse. People are wanting to leave. This is where we come and go to the lakes and enjoy our community. We can't have this conflict nonstop. If there's got to be something done. The snowball problem that you guys are all handling, in my opinion, could be solved by Lori being back in office and getting some of this bills and stuff done. Whether but I'm seeing what's going on, and I know very little. There's a problem, and it needs to be solved, and you need to man up and get it done.
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, I've been here the last 3 meetings, and I've been listening politely, and I've taken in a lot of things. And all of you that are up there have chosen to be a public servant for this community, okay? Mr. Combs, I'm very ashamed to hear your response to this gentleman, because you serve 2 purposes. You serve as a public servant to this community, and you also serve as a developer for this community. And that's the most reasonable question I've heard in 3 months.
I don't think I didn't answer it.
No.
I apologize if I didn't.
Well, I think you should, this is the community, okay? We have working people here. We can't expect to track you down in one of your 7 days of the week. This is the forum, this is the platform to tell everybody in this room what your vision is and answer that man's question.
I answered it.
No, you didn't. I didn't hear any reply, I'm sorry. I didn't hear any.
You restate the question.
Very important community and development. That's kind of why I got in the office.
modulars are a viable part of this community. Prefab homes are out here, mobile homes are out here, all types of housing is out here. So whatever somebody's got in their head about modulars, they probably don't know what they are, and they probably don't know how they're installed.
I know it's a pre-manufactured home that you haven't put somewhere, that's fine, but if that's your plans, is there a certain spot these are going, where are they going?
You know more about my plans than I do, so we can talk about it.
Excuse me, I don't think you're talking to my wife that way, I don't appreciate that. That's right. I didn't ask you a disrespectful question, so I don't need a disrespectful answer to my wife.
I mean, you have a mobile home in a certain part of the
I'm sorry, I'm not
I don't want a modular next to my house to bring down the value of my house, because I know they don't keep their value.
I think you might be misinformed.
No, I was a real estate agent, so I think I know a lot about real estate, thank you very much.
You know the difference between a manufactured home and a modular home?
Yes, I do.
What are the codes on it? Not to disrespect your wife.
I don't need to know the codes on them. I'm just asking what your plans are with that, if I'm gonna have one next to my house, because I know myself and my husband have contacted you about buying a lot that should be ours anyway, because they didn't build them the right way. And you don't return those calls, so.
Well, that's the issue, okay.
No, that's not the
No
issue.
disrespect to your wife.
There's no issue, I could care less if I buy the lot or not, I was just trying to buy it.
I could care less about the lot myself, but if you build a house there, it doesn't meet the requirements of the association.
Okay,
It's not within the 15 feet property line.
okay.
Was it different like it's the modular home that was built over 20 years ago?
There's modular homes and double-wide homes in this.
Yeah, modular home, you know, if it's built correctly, it's a beautiful home. 1,600, that's a beautiful house. That's, I just want to know what your vision of this community was.
Requirements.
I got your answer, and I'll talk to you at the office, that's not a problem.
I will. And I'd be glad to.
Appreciate it.
I put one modular home in this community probably 15 years ago, and you drive down the street and you would
You'll
see
never
every
know
house.
it looking at it. You'll never know it looking at it, I understand that.
I'm not sure exactly where that was coming from, but I'll be glad to discuss it with you. In length, with both of you. I apologize if I offended your wife.